is the Next Level Loan Officers podcast. To learn more about Next Level Loan Officers, go to becomnl.com.
Hey, this is Frazier with Lead Pops and Next Level, and I'm proud to present this episode of the Next Level Loan Officers podcast. Lead Pops is the industry's only future-proof growth solution. You can check us out at leadpops.com.
Well, welcome back to a monumental milestone episode here of the Next Level Loan Officers podcast, the number one podcast for originators by originators anywhere in the global world sphere. Today is a special day, as not only do we have all four Next Level founders in our virtual studios here with Shane Kidwell, Sean Z, and of course, KT in the house today, but it's a special episode, gentlemen. We are episode number 200. 200. That's a pretty cool deal. You know, not a lot of podcasts make it to episode number 200. And I will say it is not without its work and labor of love and inconvenience and not always wanting to do it and all of those things that got us here today. So, men, congratulations on sticking with it and getting us to episode 200.
You know, it's funny. It's like, we know how important it is to do this, but it's still hard to do them. And I was just doing the math. That's over 40 episodes a year. So and I've gone back and listened to many of those episodes for myself. And, you know, you hear it differently depending on where you're at in your life, personally, in your business life. One of my business partners at my mortgage company, who's a part of Next Level, he's gone to almost every event we've ever had, except for like 2. He's got 5 kids. So we'll cut the guy a break. And I'm like, dude, like, you don't need to go to the live event again. You know, it's like, we have some fundamentals that we're going to talk about. You've already learned those fundamentals. He's like, yeah, but I'm in a different place today than I was when I learned that fundamental last time. I think that's true with the podcast, right? I mean, so I would just encourage everybody to go back and listen to him, because what's so interesting, and I know, Kellen, we're going to each touch on something that we've done since the inception of Next Level that's still working today. And in fact, in some instances, it's working better today than ever before, but it's the same thing that we had going 4 or 5 years ago. He said the same thing. It's like same person, different place, different result with that same tool. And so I'm super excited to get into that. But man, what a journey we've been on. I know, KT, you were talking earlier about just the evolution of us as a company. It's no different than what our originators have gone through in the last 5 years, but I think it would be important for our audience to hear a little bit about that story, the evolution.
Yeah, I think that, you know, when we go back to the very beginning of Next Level Loan Officers, guys, it really wasn't even that at first. It was something else, and it turned into Next Level Loan Officers. And you know, we did what everyone else did. In the coaching realm, right, is we looked at what other people were doing, and to some level we copied it, and we were a high ticket, you know, coaching platform for, you know, I mean, that's probably the most accurate description. We were at about $2,000 a month, and then we, you know, wanted to make it more affordable, and we moved into group coaching, and then we moved from group coaching to really creating a community of people that was really catered to everyone, depending on where you're at in your business. And I feel like we've really, you know, we've created our own identity, right? And it's more about giving more in value than we've ever taken in payment, but also giving it an opportunity for all loan officers to be able to plug in, whether you're, you know, 1 year in the business or less, or you've been a seasoned veteran and you're killing it, because we offer something to everybody. And so we came to this, you know, coaching place where we wanted to offer coaching across the board for everyone in the mortgage industry. And then that kind of turned into a community platform. Mm-hmm. And so I think today it's a better description to say we're more of a community platform with a coaching component, but we also have other coaching outside of Next Level that we believe in and that we like to share and promote. We do not have a scarcity mentality when it comes to those things, and we want you guys to win. And most importantly, we want the Next Level community to be a place of resources, a place of knowledge and inspiration, and accountability, right? And so we know that when we bring more people under the umbrella of Next Level Community, guys, you will win. And at the price point, nothing in the industry exists for what we have. It doesn't exist. We're the only ones, right? There's no one else that does what we do. Doesn't mean that there's not some good coaches out there. I'm just telling you to be able to get the value that you need to grow your business, regardless of where you're at. This is where it's at. Like I'm just saying, like shameless self-promotion, guys, but that's the reality.
Well, I mean, if you don't know about it, you can go to becomnl.com and find out exactly there. You can book a little strategy call, get on with the coach and find out exactly how Next Level can help you. But, you know, as I think about the 200 podcasts and as I look as you do anything 200 times in your life, and I think about the first few dozen that we did, and I mean, they were good, but they're not what number 200 is. You know, I mean, the first few times you get back into working out and the 200th time you work out, like it's just a different ball game. And it's so awesome to where we have evolved as a community, a podcast, just everything that we do and put together. And it's an honor to be here doing this with you guys.
Well, let's get into it, gentlemen. We have kind of had some time to think about really, and the point of this kind of 200th podcast and this look back is for each of us to kind of take the strategy or thing that we've talked about here on this podcast or within our Next Level community and really talk about which one had the most impact on us, right? And kind of telling that story, because I think for a lot of these, they're still impactful today. So if you're listening to this podcast, you're about to get 4 just home runs, right? These are all strategies and things that we do, all 4 of us do on a daily basis that are the people in our program do. A lot of them came from people in our program. We've refined them and continue to get better and better at them over time. So I'm going to get us kicked off here. And I'm going to talk about the strategy that probably gets more questions than anything when we say it. We say it, and then people are like, time out. What did you – in fact, we were at an event. Ken and I were at an event this week, and we mentioned it and had 3 or 4 people come up to us after. Hey, tell me again about that. What are you guys doing again? And this is our it used to be the $5,000 guarantee. Now inflation hit us, and so we're at the $10,000 guarantee. But I think Sean in St. Louis is still at the $5,000. But it started as the $5,000 guarantee. We had a member in our group that had really kind of started to put this together. Now, I still do this practice today. I do the $10,000 guarantee. In fact, I had a realtor appointment at my office yesterday, and it was a key piece of what we were talking about how we're going to help her win more business in 2023. So it's pretty simple. And listen, if you want the documentation on it, if you want to see what it looks like, it's all inside of our community. You can go there. If you're already a member, if you're not, join up. You can go in there and steal it, copy it, paste it, and use it on your own. But the basic premise is that the $10,000 guarantee comes with 2 pieces of paper. One is a certificate. This is the certified home buyer certificate. It looks like a certificate. It has the borrower's name on it. It has some of the kind of pre-qual language to it. Here's what they're certified for, so on and so forth. But more importantly, there's a 1-sheet kind of a sales page that comes with it. And this is really for the listing agent, right? For them to see exactly what it is, what are the details. And the bottom line is it's a $10,000 guarantee to the seller if this buyer doesn't close and it's something that we as the lender did or missed or couldn't achieve and the borrower couldn't qualify for some reason, we will pay the seller $10,000. Now, it excludes the buyer changing jobs, the buyer opting out and deciding they don't want the property, right? The buyer has to be involved in this process. But I'm telling you, we do this so typically we do it only if we pre-approve the borrower. I mean, we do a full TBD underwritings, really reviewed the whole file, or on a case-by-case basis if it's a super clean file. So it's kind of at our discretion when we send this out. But we typically do it, and I'll tell you that anytime you can get your borrower to go through the TBD process where they're handing over documents, where they're pre-underwritten by underwriting, that is a sticky that is very hard to overcome for them to go somewhere else once they've already been through that process. So we dangle this carrot of like, hey, once you do that, we can then offer the $10,000 guarantee, which will help you win your deal. And I mean, I could give you story after story after story of situations where we won the contract because of this. I'll give you one little tip on this and then I'll move on. But at one point I had an agent send me the contract. They're like, hey, we won the contract. So excited, yada, yada, send it over. And I noticed when I was looking and reading the contract, I opened the PDF and it started with the contract first. And then it ended with the prequal letter. And then behind that was the $10,000 guarantee. And I just asked, this is a fairly newer agent. I just said, hey, is this the order in that you submit the offers? And he was like, yeah, absolutely. I go, I want you to try something for me. Take the $10,000 guarantee, put it at the top of the stack, right? Put it at the top, then the prequal, then the contract. And let me know how that works out for you. So we started doing that and we were we were winning deals left and right. And if anything else, the letter may be a little gimmicky. Some listing agents may like it. Some others may not. But I'll tell you this, it's a pattern interrupt. They see that and they're like, what is that? And they stop and read it because they haven't seen it before. And I got a lot of listing agents that called me and said, would you do this for my buyers? Absolutely, I would. So this was a really great strategy in 2020, 2021, when competition was fierce and there were 15 offers on every property. This was huge. It was a great way to have conversations. It was a value add to our realtor partners. Now, it waned a little bit last year, but we're right back in it. We are right back in it right now in multiple offers, over asking, and we are using this strategy again and leveraging it. So there you go. That's the number one strategy for KV during the last 2 years.
Yeah, so we've been using that quite a bit too, and Kellen with a lot of great success. It's been a great strategy. So one of the things that we've done on top of that is also reach out to the listing agent with every contract that is going in. So most of the time they do have our 5K guarantee. Sometimes, we've just been able to pre-approve them, or, I mean, you got a 620 credit score and a 55 DTI. I'm probably not going to give you a 5K guarantee just because there's too many things that can go wrong, but I will give you a solid pre-approval. And then I pick up the phone and call the listing agent and just let them know, hey, listen, we're working with the Smiths here. They just put in or about to put an offer on your amazing listing at 123 Elm Street. I wanted to tell you a little bit about them, and I want to tell you a little bit about my pre-approval because it's different than any others that you're going to get. And I just go into the 5K guarantee, how we'll give money to the seller. And, the thing is, when you do something different, Kellen, I loved how you called it a pattern interrupt, because all of a sudden wait, nobody else is calling me. Nobody else has this. And then so it's a great conversation starter, and a conversation starter is a great relationship builder, and you take it from there in order to grow more. I've got a couple agents that they call me now and they're like, hey, will you do that magic phone call? And one of the things that you have to work through sometimes with agents is they like to make their life and everybody else's life miserable. Not the good ones, but the ones that don't get it. And so we sometimes have to explain to them. They're like, well, it's my job to negotiate the contract. I'm like, I'm not trying to negotiate your contract. I'm only presenting the financing, because my job as a loan officer, of course, is to do all these great things for the borrower, but it is to make you the most amount of money per hour that I possibly can. And if you show less houses and get offers accepted quicker, I just increase your dollar per hour. Is your other lender doing that for you?
That's right.
And so then that is a great way. And some of the buyer's agents, they just miss out on that. And so you just have to educate them on exactly what you're doing to leverage time. And then, we ask, of course, it's never foolproof, but once we are ready to give the 5K guarantee, we ask for a commitment from the buyer. Be like, hey, if we're doing this for you, then I'm asking for your commitment that you're working with me.
Yep. Love that.
You know, Sean, I love that last, I love it all. And I do that too. And I think, and I know some of the other things that you kind of do as a part of that is like a bomb video after that call to solidify it more. I think the key points that you both brought up is pattern interrupts and solidifying the effort. Like you've already done the work. Like the vast majority of the work is getting that 621 borrower pre-approved, getting them through pre-underwriting. Now you got to solidify the work and get that deal under contract. And by taking that extra time to connect with the agent, I've been in the business now 12 years. Sean, you've been in a lot longer than me. Ken, you've been in it since you were in like your diapers. I can't tell you how many times when I call that random listing agent, it ends up being somebody that I know. And we worked on a deal. So again, like what's really cool about Next Level is I would say nearly every strategy that we've ever taught and nearly every ATM has secondary impacts. So not only am I solidifying the effort and the work that I did on that specific client, that agent's going to work with other people. And if I do what you guys have talked about, put your best foot forward with a guarantee, pattern interrupt those conversations or the assumptions they have about lenders, have that conversation, solidify that, walk them through how you're a subject matter expert, and then every week check in with them, they're going to send you their other deals. Like it's just a matter of time. Now, if you quit after 2 weeks, you just didn't dig far enough to get the goal, right? But it's there every time. So I love that. Now, for me, I've done all those things and it's like 1A, 1B, and 1C because all those are really important. My intake calls that I do are also really important. But I don't want to talk about those because for me, being back in the business after not originating, it's been such a strong reminder of needing to get new business, needing to get those leads. We talk about this. For me in my market, every conversation I have is $200. I've got to do more of those conversations to get that pipeline rebuilt. And so I can't get to the agent meeting if I don't have that pipeline. The most important thing for me has been content creation through social media engagement. And it used to just be Facebook, and it's morphed into Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. But the fundamentals are exactly the same. And I am not the guy to understand every algorithm for every social platform. I'm a visionary who likes to build things, pass it to other people, and go build something new. So I've never dug in on something as deep as somebody else could, and it's still working for me. My point is that you don't have to be an expert to win at social media. You just need to do it consistently and follow some basic parameters. And so I'll go over those very, very quickly. First and foremost, you need to be engaging with people in their space at their time. Like if you're a 4 a.m. riser and you're posting at 4 a.m. and your audience isn't going to start checking on Facebook until 10 a.m. or on LinkedIn until 3 p.m., be on their platform when they're there, when the eyeballs are there, right? You don't want to have a billboard on an empty road. Like that would be an absolute waste of time. So if you're a virtual billboard, which Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube are, be there when they are. I would highly recommend by starting this by posting 2 times a day, Monday through Friday, and probably once on Saturday, Sunday. LinkedIn is actually pretty good. Facebook and Instagram isn't because that's people's Sabbath. It's my Sabbath, but you can always pre-schedule this. So post twice a day. I would say mid-morning, mid-afternoon, mid-morning, afternoon, mid-morning, or evening. But I would have like a 10 and 3 cadence or a 10 and 5 p.m. cadence. Post twice a day. Do not post what everybody else posts. Like, I don't want to make a sheep sound right now. It's like, bah, but like, that's what happens in lending. Don't be that guy or gal who posts the same thing that 700 other people posted. Be authentic, be unique, be creative. You can post that FHA MI premiums went down, but do it in a cool way. Ken, you've done a great job with that most recently with TikTok, right? But again, engaging with people twice a day, having that authentic, unfiltered approach to sharing your life is going to win you a ton of hearts and minds. And then when you have that intake call, those people feel like they know you. And then when you call that listing agent, they do know you because they're friends with you on social media. It's a way to break down barriers. It's also a way to pattern interrupt these people's assumptions about who you are. Oh, you're a lender. You're like that car salesman. They wouldn't leave me alone. Ooh, it's like, no. They know me. I'm the backwards hat CEO who loves sharing information. I'm very passionate about like pulling back the curtain on how to leverage money to create transformational wealth. Like that's my deal. And they know that because I'm constantly sharing that through social media. I'll give the last point and then we'll pass this to Ken to close us out. You know, I stepped down from my corporate mortgage gig 4 months ago. A month and a half, I was building my own private mortgage brokerage. I really started like back into marketing as an originator 2 months ago. I started sharing products, started doing shorts and reels and posting stories and getting authentic. And even like when somebody blasted me and hated me on LinkedIn, I shared the story about that on Facebook and why like I was originally pissed and how it actually was a huge blessing. I was just authentic. And I can't tell you how many leads I've gotten, how many engagements I've had. And if I was not building a company and was only originating, my business today would be double what the average originator is in this market simply through free marketing on social media. So you don't have to like social media to use social media. I don't like it. I like providing for my family at a specific level that I'm accustomed to. I don't want to lower that level. So I'm going to be on social media, and you can scale this so easily, so quickly, and have your entire week planned, managed, and engaged in an hour. So I just can't stress enough how important that is.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Shane. I think that, you know, the social media aspect of what we do is extremely important, and it really ties in really well with one of my favorite marketing strategies that we've been using for many years. And I feel like we have perfected this inside of Next Level over the years by trial and error. And I think that, you know, for those listening, you have to understand that 86% or so of home buyers are always reaching out to the realtor first. And we just feel that realtor relationships is an extremely important part of our process. Now, do we want to get in front of them before the realtor? Absolutely. We would love that, right? But at the end of the day, consumers call the realtor more than they call an originator first. And what we find a lot of loan officers had been doing over the last couple of years is begging for business. They've been chasing real estate agents. They've been calling them on Monday. And let me just say this. They do not want you to call them on Monday. They just had their weekend of showings, and their Monday is writing offers and communicating final details. And the last thing they want are 15 jackasses calling them, the same agents, right? Ask them if they work or played over the weekend. So I think that, you know, when we think of realtor relationships, what does that really look like? I feel like we've perfected that. For me, it's coffee appointments, lunch appointments. They fall under the same category, same umbrella. And really, you know, what you have to know about this strategy, and, you know, it's inside Next Level. I can't go over it in 3 minutes, but I'm going to give you the cliff notes, is a lot of originators, when they meet with them, they vomit on them. They throw up on the real estate agent about how awesome they are. Man, I've got great interest rates. I've got great loan programs. I've got this, I got that. And they make it all about them, right? Well, let me tell you something. I have friends that say the same thing. They're like, man, I put a roof over my kid's head. I take care of them. I put food on the table. I put clothes on their backs, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, bro, you're supposed to. That makes you a zero. That's what we're supposed to do as fathers, right?
The bare minimum.
And so the way I relate that to originators is, guys, you're supposed to provide good customer service. You're supposed to have the products. What are you doing above and beyond to differentiate yourself from other loan officers? And for us, we have found it's very influential and it's very impactful when you make it about the real estate agent, when you really get involved and start asking them questions about them, their goals, their family, their personal life, and then go into, you know, so inside of your business as real estate agents, you know, we have things inside Next Level that we teach, right? That's fundamental, basic things that we teach inside Next Level. We feel that those relate to any job or any industry that exists, right? And it's these foundations. When you learn those foundations and you bring them to a realtor and you start teaching a realtor to look at their business a little bit different, to be able to measure, to be able to, you know, see, you know, do they need more traffic or do they need more time? All right. Do they need assist? And when you really start breaking these things down, it's like the first time they've ever heard about it. Right. And that's what we do. This is building the relationship. But the whole purpose of sitting down and making it about them is to genuinely, that's how we create relationships. That's how we all got married, right? We met with somebody, we got to know about them, we made it all about them, we dated them, we courted them, and then eventually we get married. A lot of loan officers, you think that you take them to coffee one time, you want to get married to them. It don't work that way. I'm just telling you, it don't work that way. It's not going to work. we're firm believers that you have to develop the relationship, but the goal isn't so much the initial meeting. It's the follow-up, right, to that meeting. We call it a strategy session inside of our community. Once you've built their trust and you've created a relationship and you've given them substantially more in value than any other knucklehead loan officer that's out there, are they willing to sit down and meet with you again? And 100%, I'm 100%, right? All the realtors I've ever met with, I've never had one say, "Nah, KT, I don't want to have a follow-up strategy due to this awesome conversation that we've had over the last hour. Wow, thank you. Never had a loan officer talk to me like this and care so much about my business." And then the strategy session is all about me. It's all about my team. It's all about what I offer, right? Whether you have a team or don't have a team, right? Whether you have an office or don't have an office, you pull back the curtain and say, "Hey, let me show you what the Kellen Travis team is all about." You would do the same thing. And you show them the thing, what you do inside the transaction, what you do for your clients, how you communicate, what your expectations are, all of these things, right? You can introduce them if you do have a team or a processor. Just show them what you're about. That's how you develop relationships. And that's the purpose of the strategy session is to take the meeting from them to you, right? And what value you bring. The level of, I can't even describe how many loans I've gotten from this strategy. It's unbelievable, right? And I remember not long ago, it was September of 2021. You guys know I've revisited this strategy, and I tested it for, I think it was 15 days straight. I met with 2 to 3 realtors a day for 15 days straight, business days straight. I didn't work on the weekends, but 15 business days straight. And it ended up yielding 19 sales contracts in less than 30 days, right? So the good news is inside Next Level, guess what? We have a recording of these coffee meetings that we've had that people can learn from and emulate. And I've had so many loan officers over the months say, "Dude, I love that coffee meeting. I've listened to that thing 100 times and it's really helped me craft my language and my messaging. And I see what you did there, KT. I see what you did there." And we all on this call, we do this, right? This is part of our tool belt of strategies. It's definitely one of my favorite. We all use it. All the ones that each of us have mentioned today, we are all actually implementing in our businesses, and we believe it and stand behind it. And if you want more information, becomenl.com.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think we'd be remiss if we didn't just point out maybe the obvious here, which is, people, loan officers who we talk to, and I think loan officers out there, they want the practicals, right? They want the blocking and tackling. They want the paint by number. Like, don't theorize on what it should do. Show me what it should do, right? And that's what's different between us and a lot of other people is we do this stuff every single day. We have coffee appointments. We have lunch appointments. We meet with agents. We literally sell the $10,000 guarantee, or we make the social media posts. We do it every single day. And so we refine it. We get better at it. We make it more effective. We make it more efficient. We find the best way to do it. And that's what we bring to the group. And we crowdsource that. The group refines it. The group says, "Hey, try this. Hey, what about this?" And it just gets better and better and better. We have always said Next Level is not about the 4 of us at all. The power is in the community. And when you bring a lot of like-minded loan officers together in one place, it's a powerful deal. I mean, the conversations, the strategies, the just helping each other out that goes on in there is powerful. And if you're not a part of it, we would love to make you a part of it. I think you would find tremendous benefit for it. But in the meantime, we thank you for your participation in what started as our little podcast and has now grown to episode 200 and the #1 podcast in the nation that's made by loan officers for loan officers. So any parting words, gentlemen, before we sign off here and continue on to episode 201?
I'm looking forward to 400.
There we go.
Guys, if we can do 200 episodes of a podcast with all that we have, that would be a gravitational pull keeping us from being consistent, you can grow your mortgage business. And take one thing away from today. and just implement one new thing and become excellent at it. It could be as simple as answering your phone. It could be as simple as how you communicate day one of a contract. If you can become excellent, or having coffee, engaging in social media, connecting with a listing agent, whatever the case may be, if you can become excellent at something today, that's one more thing you're beating your competition at. And then next month, become expert on one more thing. If you became excellent at one thing every month, in 12 months, you'd be in a completely different space than you are today. And it's easy, it's free, you can all do it. It's much easier if you do it with a group of like-minded people. It's much easier if you're held accountable. It's much easier if other people give you ideas and you just, jump on that express lane. But none of this is hard. It's very simple, but it takes a commitment.
Awesome. Well, thank you all. And we will catch you on the next Level Loan Officers podcast. Thanks, everybody.